At the age of 68, I can finally say this without hesitation. My home is no longer my stress zone. For years, clutter was my quiet enemy. It never shouted, but it crept into every corner, on countertops, across tables, and even inside my head. I used to wake up each morning already feeling like I was behind, like I was constantly catching up with the mess from the day before. It drained my energy before the day even started. But something shifted. I stopped relying on those all-day cleaning marathons that left my knees sore and my spirit even more exhausted. I stopped trying to tackle everything at once and started focusing on something far more powerful: daily habits. Simple, short, consistent habits that don't require much time but create a home that stays peaceful without the stress. 8 habits, to be exact. I swear by them. They take less than 20 minutes a day, yet they've completely transformed the way I live. These are not hacks. These are not trendy routines. These are the daily actions that helped me regain control over my space and brought a sense of calm back into my life. Today, I'm sharing them with you, not just what they are, but how they changed the way I feel in my own home. So take a deep breath, settle in, and maybe keep a notebook close by. Because something in what I'm about to share might just become part of your daily peace too. Let's begin. Habit 1. The morning surface sweep. This is the very first thing I do after brushing my teeth. Before breakfast, before checking my phone, before anything else. I take a soft cloth, walk into my kitchen, and start with the counters. Then I move into the bathroom sink area, and finally the dining table. It takes less than 4 minutes, and I'm not scrubbing or deep cleaning. I'm simply wiping away what doesn't belong: dust, crumbs, yesterday's coffee rings. But what I'm really doing is sending a message to my brain. I'm telling myself, this space is mine. This day is mine. And that feeling, that little burst of control and clarity, carries me through the rest of the morning. Years ago, I used to avoid my kitchen in the morning. I'd walk in, see a mess, and feel heavy before the day even began. Sometimes I'd just pour my coffee and walk out. But once I started this one small habit, everything shifted. My space started greeting me with calm instead of chaos. The beautiful thing about the morning surface sweep is that it's not about perfection. It's about rhythm. And rhythm is something we can hold on to, even when everything else feels uncertain. Let me ask you something. When you wake up and walk into your kitchen, what's the first thing you see? Is it something that lifts your spirit, or something that makes your shoulders drop a little lower? If it's the latter, maybe tomorrow morning you'll try this. Take 4 minutes, 1 cloth, and 1 quiet breath. Wipe down the space where you begin your day, not to clean it, but to claim it. That's where it starts. That's where peace begins. Habit 2. The 1 in, 1 out rule. This one changed the way I shop, the way I store things, and honestly, the way I think about what I truly need. The rule is simple. Every time something new comes into my home, one thing must go out. If I buy a new pair of shoes, I donate or toss an old pair. If I bring home a new mug, I let go of one I no longer use. It sounds small, but over time, this habit has become my silent gatekeeper. It keeps the clutter from building up without me even noticing, and it gently forces me to be intentional about what I allow into my space. I remember the moment this habit really hit home. I was cleaning out my kitchen drawers and found 4 garlic presses. 4. I live alone. I don't even use garlic every day. I kept buying new ones because I forgot I already had them, or because the new one looked sleeker or promised to be easier on my hands. But what I really needed was 1 good garlic press and permission to let the rest go. Now, I feel lighter every time I bring something home because I know something else will leave. It's a balance that makes my space feel alive, not overloaded. Let me ask you, is there something in your home right now that could go? Something that's outlived its usefulness? Or maybe something you've just outgrown? Here's a gentle challenge. Before the day ends, find one item you can release. Donate it, recycle it, or gift it to someone who needs it. And the next time something new enters your space, ask yourself, what will I trade for this? That question alone can change everything. Habit 3. The nightly 10-item reset. Every night before I head to bed, I do something so simple it almost feels silly, but it works like magic. I walk through my living space and put away 10 items. Just 10. Not 12, not 20. 10. It might be a pair of shoes left near the door, a mug from earlier in the day, a throw blanket that slipped off the couch, or a book I finished that never made it back to the shelf. Sometimes, I don't even leave the room. I just scan, count, and restore 10 things to their proper places. Why 10? Because it's manageable. It's small enough that I never feel overwhelmed, but large enough that it makes a visible difference. And it gives my brain a signal that the day is ending on a calm, tidy note. Instead of leaving behind a low-level mess to greet me in the morning, I set the stage for peace. I used to fall asleep with this subtle tension in my chest, knowing the kitchen was still cluttered, the cushions were scattered, the mail was piled up again. Now, when I do my 10-item reset, I go to bed feeling like I've completed something. I've closed the loop on the day. There's also something quietly meditative about it. It doesn't feel like cleaning. It feels like honoring my space before rest. Like saying, "Thank you for holding me today. Let me care for you in return." So here's your turn. Tonight, just try it. Pick up 10 things. Count as you go. And when you finish that 10th item, pause for a moment. Look around. Notice the shift. The air feels lighter, doesn't it? And I'd love to hear, what's the one spot in your home where clutter tends to gather at the end of the day? Let's talk about it, because chances are you're not the only one. Habit 4. The paper pause. If there's one type of clutter that sneaks in silently and builds up faster than we expect, it's paper. Mail, receipts, brochures, appointment reminders, lists scribbled on envelopes, even sticky notes that no longer serve a purpose. It's not loud or messy at first, but give it a few days and suddenly it's a mountain on the dining table or a leaning tower beside your favorite chair. That's why I started doing what I call the paper pause. Just 2 minutes every afternoon, usually after lunch, when I'm still near the kitchen table and winding down from the morning, I stop and tackle the day's paper. Not all of it, just what's new. I keep a small recycling bin nearby, a shredder under the sideboard, and a simple accordion folder with 4 sections labeled Bills to Pay, Documents to Keep, Action Needed, and Read Later. When I walk in with the mail, I don't toss it on the counter like I used to. I stand right there and sort it on the spot. Junk mail gets recycled immediately. Bills go in the bills slot. Invitations or anything I need to respond to go in Action Needed. Medical paperwork or insurance stuff goes in Documents to Keep. And magazines or newsletters I genuinely want to read go in the Read Later pocket near my recliner. That one habit, handling paper once as soon as it enters, has probably saved me more stress than any other. You see, before this, I would misplace important letters all the time. I'd forget to pay bills, lose appointment cards, and feel buried in unread magazines that I never had time for. There was always this background anxiety, like I was forgetting something or missing something important. And sometimes I was. Now, I never have to clean up paper because it never gets the chance to become clutter in the first place. It just flows through my home and lands where it's supposed to. Let me ask you something. Where do your papers pile up the most? Is it a specific table, a chair in the corner, or maybe your kitchen island? If you can name it, you can tame it. Try this. Pick a spot. any spot, and give it a job. Make it your official paper center. Keep a folder or two there, maybe a small bin or tray. Commit to using it for a week, just a week, and see how much easier it becomes to stay on top of things. This habit isn't about perfection. It's about peace of mind. It's about removing those little layers of decision fatigue that add up over time. The less you have to think about paper, the more room your mind has for the stuff that really matters, like who you want to call today, or what book you'll finally read tonight. So go ahead, pause, breathe, sort. 2 minutes, once a day. It's more than enough to stay ahead. Habit 5, the basket system. This habit didn't just save my space, it saved my sanity. Before I started using it, clutter felt like it followed me from room to room. A magazine in the bathroom, socks under the coffee table, empty glasses on windowsills, mail that migrated from the kitchen to the bedroom. I used to feel like I was constantly chasing mess, like I was always 10 steps behind my own belongings. Then I introduced 3 baskets. That's it, 3 simple baskets, each with a clear purpose. The first one is for return to bedroom. This is where I place anything that belongs in the bedroom but ends up elsewhere. Pajamas, books, lotion, a pair of earrings, whatever it might be. The second is to sort later. This one catches the randoms. Things I haven't decided on yet, or items I don't have time to deal with immediately, like old chargers, buttons that fall off sweaters, or the mystery key that no one remembers what it opens. And the third basket is labeled to donate. This one lives near the hallway and is my favorite. Anytime I notice something I no longer use or love, an extra mug, a duplicate tool, a scarf I haven't worn in years, it goes in the basket without second guessing. When it's full, I drop it off at the donation center, and it's out of my life for good. These baskets aren't hidden. They're out in the open, but neat. And because they're clearly labeled, even guests or family members know what goes where. Here's the magic. Instead of stopping what I'm doing, every time I find a misplaced item, I simply drop it into the appropriate basket. Then, once or twice a week, usually on Sundays, I empty them all. Everything gets put away, sorted, or donated in one calm, focused session. This system turned what used to be dozens of tiny interruptions into one intentional act of care. And it gave all my floating objects a home, at least a temporary one. There's something deeply satisfying about knowing that even the clutter has a path, even the mess has structure. I'll be honest, before this, I used to drape sweaters over chairs and drop books wherever I finished reading them. My favorite armchair? Half the time it wasn't even available for sitting, because it had become a drop zone. But since the baskets came into play, that chair is mine again. A place to rest, not to store. Let me ask you, where in your home does clutter gather the fastest? Is there a place where things just seem to land day after day? Maybe today's the day you choose a basket. Any basket will do. Label it, give it a job, and see what happens when you create a soft, structured way to deal with the daily overflow. Remember, organization doesn't mean rigidity. It can be soft, forgiving, and even beautiful. A basket by the door, a label that guides, a moment of grace for yourself and your home. Try it. You might be surprised how much lighter everything feels. Habit 6, the evening gratitude walk. This one started as an accident. I didn't read it in a book or find it in some guide. I simply did it one night without thinking. I was walking through my living room at the end of a long day. I picked up a pillow that had fallen off the couch, fluffed it, and placed it back where it belonged. And for some reason, as I did it, I thought, I really love this pillow. It makes my back feel so much better when I sit. That moment felt so peaceful. It surprised me. The next night, I did it again, but with more intention. I walked through each room of my home slowly, calmly, with no pressure to clean or fix. I straightened a blanket in the den, wiped a small smudge off the bathroom mirror, returned a stray teacup to the sink. But with every small action, I also named something I appreciated about that space. In the kitchen, I said thank you for the stove that still works beautifully. In my bedroom, I paused to feel gratitude for the lamp beside my bed, the one that lets me read at night. In the hallway, I nodded at the photos of people I love and said a silent thank you for every one of them. This is now a nightly ritual. I call it my evening gratitude walk. It only takes 5 to 7 minutes, but it does something special. It ends the day with presence instead of noise. I'm not rushing. I'm not cleaning. I'm simply engaging with my space, showing it a little care, and allowing it to return that care back to me. You'd be amazed how powerful it feels to walk through your home without judgment, without the voice in your head saying, I should clean that, or why is this always messy? Instead, you say, thank you for holding me today, or this space is good enough right now. The physical movement is gentle. It's not exercise, but it's not stillness either. And it helps me wind down. My joints feel looser. My breathing slows. My thoughts soften. And the emotional effect? That's the real magic. When I go to bed after this walk, I'm not mentally listing everything I didn't finish. I'm not stressed about the mess. I feel at peace. I feel grounded. I sleep better, deeper, longer, without the same restless tossing. And here's the part I didn't expect. This practice actually reduced my clutter too. Because when you interact with your space daily with intention and appreciation, you naturally take better care of it. You start to notice what no longer fits, what doesn't bring you joy, and what deserves more space to breathe. Let me ask you something. Which room in your home brings you the most comfort? Where do you feel the most like yourself? Maybe tonight, try your own gratitude walk. Go to that room, touch one item, straighten it, clean it gently. And while you do, think of one thing you're thankful for in that space. That's it. That's the habit. No pressure, no perfection, just you, your home, and a few quiet minutes of connection before bed. You'll be amazed at how something so small can make your entire home feel more alive and more like a sanctuary. Habit 7, the do it now habit. Out of all the habits I've practiced, this one might be the most deceptively powerful. It's so small, so simple, that you might not even notice it at first, but once it clicks, it changes everything. The rule is this: if something will take less than 60 seconds, do it right away, not later, not after lunch, not when you feel like it. Right now, immediately. Hang the coat, rinse the cup, put the pen back in the drawer, toss the junk mail, fluff the pillow, plug in the phone, push in the chair. All those tiny moments we tend to overlook or delay are the moments where clutter is born. Not because we're messy people, but because we've told ourselves that these little things don't matter. But they do. They absolutely do. The first time I committed to this habit for a full day, I was shocked by the difference. Not just in my space, but in my energy. My home looked better, yes, but I also felt lighter. Like there was less unfinished business floating around me. No nagging tasks, no piles waiting to be sorted. Everything just flowed. That's the best way I can describe it. This habit creates flow. You see, clutter isn't just about stuff. It's about delayed decisions. And every time you delay a decision, your brain stores it. It becomes part of your mental load, whether you realize it or not. But when you handle something in the moment, when you take action instead of postponing it, your mind lets it go. Your body feels calmer. Your home responds in kind. Now, I'm not perfect. There are still days I let things slide. But when I notice myself feeling overwhelmed or irritable, I always come back to this one truth. I've probably let too many small things pile up, and I know the antidote. Just start doing them now, one by one. This habit also makes larger tasks less scary. When the dishes don't pile up, you never face a mountain in the sink. When the mail is opened and tossed right away, your table stays clear. When the coat is hung up immediately, your hallway feels open, not cluttered. You don't even realize how much visual stress you've eliminated until it's gone. Let me ask you something. What's one tiny thing you've put off today? Maybe it's wiping a counter, or sending that quick text, or folding the towel you left on the back of a chair. Whatever it is, try this. Take the next hour and challenge yourself. Every task that takes less than a minute, do it the second you see it. Don't even give your brain time to negotiate. Just act. It's amazing how empowering that feels. Like you're suddenly the conductor of your home, not the janitor cleaning up after yesterday's decisions. Over time, this habit creates a new rhythm in your day. One where your space stays naturally clear, not because you're constantly cleaning, but because clutter never had a chance to settle in the first place. It's not about being busy. It's about being present, one tiny action at a time. Habit 8. The Sunday 15-minute deep spot. Sundays used to drain me. I'd wake up with the goal of deep cleaning the whole house. I'd make a long list, dust shelves, clean the fridge, reorganize the pantry, and by the time I was halfway through, I'd feel sore, frustrated, and behind. Instead of feeling refreshed, I ended Sundays more stressed than I started them. That's when I gave myself permission to do less, but with more focus. Now, every Sunday, I choose just one small area of my home, not a room, not a category. One spot, a drawer, a shelf, a single surface that's been bothering me quietly, and I give it exactly 15 minutes of my attention. I set a timer. When it ends, I stop. No guilt, no pressure to finish everything. Some weeks, it's the cutlery drawer. Other times, it's a dusty windowsill or the bin under the bathroom sink. I clean, toss what's expired or no longer needed, and restore order. Just one small zone, deeply cared for. And the effect? Over time, my entire home has become more manageable, more peaceful. Not because I cleaned it all at once, but because I stayed consistent. One Sunday, I chose the top of my dresser. It was a magnet for clutter. Receipts, old perfume bottles, tangled jewelry. In 15 minutes, I cleared it, wiped it down, and left only 3 items: a lamp, a photo of my grandson, and a small dish for my earrings. That space now welcomes me every night. There's something special about this practice. It's not just about cleaning, it's about paying attention. It's about treating your home like it matters, and treating yourself like you matter too. Let me ask you, what's one tiny area you've been ignoring? A messy drawer? A shelf in your fridge? That chair where laundry piles up? Write it down. Set a timer this Sunday. Give it 15 minutes, no more. And notice how satisfying it feels to complete something small, but meaningful. You don't need to clean your whole house. You just need to keep showing up, one deep spot at a time. If there's one thing these 8 habits have taught me, it's that you don't need to overhaul your life to feel peace in your home. You don't need to be perfect. You just need rhythm. A little bit each day, a little bit with heart. These small actions, the morning wipe, the 10-item reset, the Sunday deep spot, they've become more than routines. They're now part of the way I care for myself. They remind me that even as I age, I can still create beauty, still choose order, still feel proud of the space I live in. I hope one of these habits sparked something in you. Maybe it was a habit you used to do and forgot. Or maybe It's something brand new that you're ready to try. Just start with one. That's how all of this began for me, with just one. And if this video gave you even a little encouragement or a bit of peace, I'd love for you to join me on this journey. Click that subscribe button and stay connected. I share new videos regularly, all made with people like you in mind. Those of us who want less noise, more clarity, and a home that reflects who we truly are. Thank you for spending this time with me. I'd love to know, which habit will you try first? Or maybe you have one of your own that keeps your home calm and clutter-free? Share it in the comments. Let's learn from each other. Until next time, stay kind to yourself, stay present, and stay light. You deserve it.